With Module 26, we'll be able to upgrade our Bregan gear, the legendary 2000 item level gear that you may have gotten from the Bregan campaign store just here. A bit expensive at 300,000 Astral Diamonds, but some of the bonuses were actually pretty good. For a rogue in particular, the boots giving crit severity and the headpiece giving accuracy. All the different classes now have different bonuses that they will give you. And I'm going to showcase a document with all of them tested, whether they actually work, how they say they do, and what the bonuses will change to when you get these to Mythic. As we can see with the new campaign, Demon Web Pits, you will be able to check the store and have the ability to upgrade that Bregan gear to Mythic. It gains a bonus of 50 item level, along with an increase to the effectiveness of its equip bonus. For example, Charged Precision goes from 7.5% accuracy to 10% accuracy. And you can see then like the armor is getting an increase to its critical strike and crit severity. The boots are going from 5% crit severity to 7.5% crit severity. And across the board you will see just increases to the bonus along with increase to the item level. Now first of all, we'll cover how to actually get it upgraded to Mythic. What will you need to be doing? Is it going to be feasible for, let's say, a more casual player who isn't going to run master content? Well, you will see the ingredients are these Abyssal Fragments, Fey Brush Favor, Sigil of Scourse, and ultimately Abyssal Essence. That's all you will need. Of course, you will also need the gear, the Bregan gear from the Bregan campaign. You'll have to actually have that in your inventory or equipped, and then you will upgrade it using those reagents. Now, all of those reagents, fortunately, will just come from your campaign and doing Abyssal Hunts. These Abyssal Fragments you'll obtain by doing your Bregan hunts. That's within the Bregan area and also the Narbondelin Module 26 area. You can see if you use Rotating Chaos, you'll get 40 Abyssal Fragments. And just by completing the hunt, if it's a greater one, you'll get 75 in the chest. If it's just standard, you'll get 60. And if it's lesser, you'll get 50. So not too much trouble getting the required Abyssal Fragments. You'll need 500 for each, so just a bit of grinding of those hunts. Then the Fey Brush Favor, that will come from doing your quests within the zone. You can see you'll obtain like 12 from a repeatable quest, and you'll obtain like 60 from the weekly quests, with then also having the ability to use Resilience modifier in your Abyssal Hunts to gain an additional 40. You can also do your heroic encounters to, I believe, get 10 and 20, depending if that's a minor or major heroic. Then you need the Sigil of Scourse, which again, you may have seen just come from doing your quests. You will get 5 from your repeatable quests, and you'll get 25 from your weekly quests. And you're capped at 100 because this is the campaign progress currency. Every week you can get 100, and that is it. So you could only upgrade one full set because they each cost 25. Then you need these Abyssal Essence. It says it has a weekly cap of 100, but for me I have just been receiving 20 maximum per week, and that was it. That depends then. If they're going to actually increase it to 100 per week, then you could upgrade your full set in 1 week. If they leave it at just 20 per week, how it is now, then you'll only be able to upgrade one piece per week. And this Abyssal Essence comes from doing your hunts again. Doesn't matter what modifier you use, the first hunt you run, it should give you the Abyssal Essence. And again, you need 20 per item. So upgrading it's very simple. You'll just double click it, click OK, and you may run into this error where you can't upgrade it because we have an armor kit here. They're gonna have to fix that. But if we wanted to upgrade the headpiece, for example, we can do so because we haven't put an armor kit in there. So just be aware, this bug might not get fixed before it launches, but it should get fixed at some point, as it was before like this with the Dark Maiden's gear. So once you have that, there you go, an increase to item level and an increase to the bonus. So let's move on to all of the other gear, what bonuses they will have, and there'll be a document below where you can look through it yourself. But let's go through it with you guys, and we can see it's all here. So With the Barbarian and Fighter DPS gear, you can see it's getting an increase with its bonus, and it works. However, it seems to give a little bit more action points than it says. And then you can see the armor piece also working, and it's actually giving a whopping 18% combat advantage. That is massive, but you do take a hit to your critical avoidance, which if you're making a glass cannon build shouldn't be too problematic, losing that much crit avoidance. Nothing should one-shot you, especially if you're a fighter or barbarian and you use your rage or your shield to block that hit. But that is a massive amount, 18%. The maximum currently an armor piece will give is 15%, with a much heavier requirement. Here you just have to deal damage to gain a stack. Then you have the arms, just an increase to the amount of stats you can gain, up to 8,000. It's just if you reach 20 stacks, they only last 10 seconds and then they expire and you have to build all stacks up again. Barbarian can use like your blood letter, which deals damage to you, basically to avoid that. And then the boots, just giving a 1% increase there to your power when you're close to your target. 25 feet. Then with the rogue, cleric, bard and ranger DPS, you've got an increase to that accuracy with the headpiece there, and we just upgraded one of those. The armor can give up to a maximum of 7.5% critical strike when you're in a full team, and up to 8% crit severity when you're moving. It lasts about 2 seconds and then it drops off after you've like moved. I don't see it as all too feasible. There's kind of better options. And the arms also, same as before with like the Barbarian Fighter arms, which gives you 8,000 stats, but then they drop off at 20 stacks unless you take a hit. And the boots, very nice, going up to 7.5% crit severity. Pretty useful. Just have to be nice and close to your target. But if you're playing melee range, which you would be if you're a rogue, bard or ranger, that shouldn't be a problem. Perhaps if you're a cleric, where you have the option to play further away if you wanted to. Then with the warlock and wizard DPS, unfortunately I think the gear kind of sucks here. The headpiece can give a maximum of 10% power. That's alright if you're not running a rapture build, which you kind of are in endgame right now. The armor is going to give you 8% damage whenever you have shield or temp HP. Not great, there are better options. The arms have a chance to deal 300 magnitude now instead of 250. Not great either because of the freaking 20-second cooldown. If this didn't have a cooldown at all, it could be very good. The chance is going up from 10% to 20%. Maybe even if this had a 5-second cooldown, it would be feasible. But with 20 seconds, nah, not great. And the boots, yeah, again, you want to have your crit severity at 90% for your daily power for that artifact call, so I don't see this as feasible whatsoever. Maybe if you want to run it on a healer warlock. Then for the healer gear, for paladin and cleric specifically, they gain a boost with their headpiece just there. It'll basically give them some percentage crit severity and knock back all enemies. Not great, you don't really want to be knocking back enemies. There are just a lot better headpieces out there. The armor as well, there's a lot better armor pieces out there. You're just dropping on a chance some orbs on the ground that can help heal people. Not too feasible. The arms gonna give you, yeah, a maximum of 10% critical strike, but you have to be casting a single target heal, and well, not many healers will be doing that a lot. And then your boots just, yeah, have a chance along with the cooldown, and just makes them not very reliable either. So it kind of sucks, all that gear there for the paladin and the cleric. And then the warlock and the bard healers, you got the headpiece, really good. Maximum performance soul weave or soul spark is going up to 25% from 15%. You're getting like a full extra 7.5% soul sparks on a warlock DPS if you were to use this. A full 50 more performance for your bard DPS, and then your healers gain a 250 resource. Pretty good if you need that burst heal. Otherwise you could be better off with something that just gives you extra regen, like the Dark Maidens one. The armor is getting a buff, which is just crazy, from a 3.5% to 5%, reducing your enemy's defense, awareness, and critical avoidance, all of which will increase everybody's damage against the target. When everybody's at like 90% of critical strike and combat advantage, it results in an 8.8% overall damage boost against the affected enemies. That is massive just from one armor piece. So definitely worth upgrading there. The arms, yeah, rather pointless. You're just going to be reducing your threat, which if you have a good enough tank, well, that shouldn't be an issue on a healer specifically. And the boots, not great either. Situational outgoing healing boost when you're surrounded by so-and-so amount of targets. 10 targets, 20,000 outgoing healing. Wow. But you probably want to have maxed out outgoing healing rating without these anyway. You can use like Seal's boots to give 10,000 outgoing healing. Actually not sure if Bard can have that, but you have Masterwork boots you could use instead. Then for your tanks, Paladin, Barbarian and Fighter, they gain like a headpiece here, which would make your target take damage equal to 5% of your max hit points, 10-second cooldown. You can see there's no increase there on Fanged Vice. The only difference is 50 item level. I don't see it as all too feasible. The cooldown makes it not really reliable for threat. It doesn't add up to much at all. You're better off just swinging your at-will a little bit faster. Your armor here, not great either. You're dropping orbs, which people can pick up to gain action points. And yeah, you can just attack more often rather than trying to seek out these orbs and basically gain the same amount of action point regen. But it's situational. If you don't need an armor piece, you can use this and maybe it'll help somebody out. Maybe if you're running a dungeon and want to kill ads and some more daily powers that more often can be helpful if you're not using artifact calls. I do really like the idea of the armor piece. It's just if you can't aim where the orbs are going to go and then people have to actively go seek them out and find them to pick them up, it makes it very quirky and not too usable. If it could, let's say, not spawn the orbs, but give everybody in your party the effect of an orb, that could be more useful. Basically giving everybody 15% more action points over 8 seconds could be very nice. People would like this to have a bit more dailies more often. Then it would become pretty much best in slot to use on a support. And the arms here, not too great either. Prevents you from attacking because whenever you attack, you lose a stack. You'd have to be fighting something that attacks you an awful lot because you need to be attacking for your threat. So I don't see it as too reliable to use that. But it would give you 9,000 awareness. Not that we really need that either. And the boots, yeah, they work, but combined with, again, a chance and a cooldown makes them just not reliable. You could be better off just getting the boots that give you 20% hit points and a 3% bonus to your defense. The rugged boots is what I speak of from Dragon Hunts. And that's all of the gear just there. I tested them, whether they work, and they all seem to work. Some of them a little bit quirky, some of them maybe not too great, like these. It'd be nice to have 20 stacks and then you keep the 20 stacks forever. Maybe have it so that they all drop off after 5 seconds if you don't attack, but every time you attack you would refresh the duration rather than them all expiring after 10 seconds once you hit 20 stacks. And that would be for these arms and then also these arms. So that's about it. Some very good pieces there, that's to be sure, but otherwise quite a few useless pieces. But to be expected, as it is kind of more stepping stone gear. It's not, I don't think, all intended to be best in slot, as there's much harder gear that you can obtain with a little bit better bonuses on some of the items. You will end up with quite a mix. Like I'll still be using a Serene Hood, probably the Mighty Cuirass, then like the Tactful Leathers or the Mighty Van Bracers or even the Petrified ones. And then the boots, yeah, for Rogue, totally getting these. So hopefully this has been somewhat insightful to you guys, what's coming with Module 26. And yeah, no worries about having to do any Master Dungeon or Trial in order to actually get that upgraded. Pretty nice. Anybody will be able to do it. Just be aware that this is still the preview server, so things are still open to change. Maybe they'll listen to some of my feedback and update some of the pieces so they're less useless. Massive thank you again to all these channel members for their added support, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.